Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to today's program. Welcome to Become a Better Man. It's such an honor to have you on this program once again. My name is Tunde Disu, and thank you, Nancy Olabisi Ogunyemi. You are the number one on this program today. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. You are welcome. You are honored. For all those that will be joining us as well, the same greetings extends to you. Thank you, everyone. Joseph, Stephen, Foreman, wow. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being part of this program. And please let me encourage you that as you join, let's go and share it. Let's call our friends, our contacts. Let us remind them that we are live. We are live, and it's going to be a great program again today. I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you. And Iharo, Akibo, thank you also for joining us. It's such an honor to have you on. Well, what are we looking at today? We are continuing from where we stopped last week. You remember last week we started looking at the art of negotiation. And as you know, we are all, every time, every day, everywhere, negotiating with someone, with something, discussing terms and conditions, even though we might not call it that way, but that's exactly what we're doing. Life is always lived on give and take, and the only way you can come to that point of giving and receiving is usually on the vehicle of negotiation. So negotiation is something that we all need to know about, we all do. And because we do it all the time, it is imperative, therefore, for us to learn how to do it and how to do it well. Last week, we started looking at the definition of negotiation. We discussed about what does it mean? What exactly is the meaning of negotiation? Hey, Katie Moedeme, thank you for joining us. Special regards to the doctor. And we said negotiation is an art. It's a process. It's not an event. It's a continuous process. It is something you do gradually, all the time, every time. So it is a process by which two or more people will come together to discuss about certain things, about everybody expressing their aims, their needs, their viewpoints, their argument, their preferences regarding a particular subject with the purpose of discovering or establishing a common ground on that purpose to settle a mutual concern, or in some cases to resolve conflict. And I said last week that sometimes, as we have seen over the years, when there are so many, where there are especially civil war, where people are fighting and a lot of blood has been shed, a lot of people has been killed and all of that. And eventually it will come back to, okay, let's sit down around the table and discuss what are the issues at stake, what are the areas of this disagreement, and let's find a common ground. And usually most wars and battles and fightings and conflict are resolved eventually on the table of negotiation. In your life, in my life, we are always negotiating with your spouse, with your children, with your employer, with the agencies, with suppliers of goods and services, even sometimes with yourself. You are always negotiating. And last week I said, life generally will not give you what you ask for. It will not give you what you need. What you feel you deserve will not be given to you. Ultimately, you will get either what you tolerate or what you negotiate. And that is the way life is. Having established that, it is therefore very, very important for us to start to learn, to understand, to find out what are some of the ways by which we can do this and do it well, so that you can always walk away from any negotiation table feeling happy with what you are taking away, because you know you have discussed that, you have settled on it, that yes, I'm happy with that. Now, happiness, therefore, it's in great. But what you don't want is to always feel somebody has pulled one over you, somebody has taken advantage of you, or you have not gotten the fullness of what you think you are worth or what you think you should get, simply because you are unable to have a good negotiation or a good bargaining ability. So that's what this platform or this program today and last week, that's what it's about, is to equip us with what is needed, what is required, so that when we sit down, either face to face, across the table, or at any point in time where we're sharing or we're looking at or we're discussing any issue, whatsoever it might be, we feel at the end of the day, I've given it my best shot, and I'm happy with what I've got out of this negotiation. So that is what this program today is about. Having established the definition of negotiation, we also discussed last week about the three types of negotiation. And I will advise and I encourage you, if you were not on the platform last week, to please go and listen to that, so that it will give you a good background and understanding into what we'll be discussing today. I'd like to welcome Rita Aire George from Netherlands, and I'd like to welcome also my wonderful, wonderful sister, Bumi Ayogade, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. What we're looking at today, one of the first thing we're looking at today is what are the key factors? What are the key factors for effective negotiation? What are the key factors that you must know, you must carry, you must work with in order for you to establish effective negotiation? Remember, your ability to negotiate effectively will determine what you take home at the end of the day. So, what are some of the key factors that you must bear in mind, that you must take on board, that you must carry along with you in the course of your negotiation? The first thing that you must bear in mind, the first thing that you must carry with you, the first thing that you must have under your belt whenever you're going into any form of negotiation, is that you must be prepared. You must be prepared. Like the Boy Scout says, be prepared. You must be prepared. I remember when I was, many years ago, when I was in the teachers training college, one of the things we were told then was, if you fail to prepare your lesson note, you are preparing to fail in class. If you fail to prepare, it means you have signed up to fail at the point of delivery. So when it comes to negotiation as well, you have to be prepared. Now, you may ask, okay, Tunde, what do I need to prepare? How do I need to prepare? What is this all about? I'm glad you asked the question. What you need to prepare is this. Negotiation is like going for an interview or for going to write an exam. Yes, you have sat in the class. Yes, you have listened to the lectures. You've taken notes from the lessons. But you and I know that that is not enough when it comes to writing an exam. What you then need to do is to go back and sit down and start reading those notes over and over and over again. Do some extra research. Go to the library. Find out more about each of the topics that's been covered in the classroom. Why? Because when it comes to examination, it is not just about what you learned in class that will help you. It is all those added extra that will determine the grade with which you come out at the end of the day. It is the same thing with negotiation. You have to prepare yourself. Part of what you need to prepare is you have to know about the other party that you'll be negotiating with. The other people that will be coming to discuss, to negotiate with you. You need to know about them. What do you need to know about them? You need to know what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses. What are their model of operation? How do they handle this type of negotiation in the past? Find out about their track record, because within the track record, you'll be able to establish a pattern of operation, how they operate, their strength, what areas are they strong, in what area are they very strong, where are their weaknesses, so that you can capitalize on those weaknesses and use your strength to get a good deal out of it. Maybe you are negotiating regarding a product or a service that is to be rendered to you. Don't go into that negotiation hoping and wishing. No, prepare yourself. Know as much as possible about that product or about that service, so that when you are talking about it, when you are discussing about not just what the salesman or the other party is telling you, but when you are coming out with facts and figures to back up your argument, you earn the respect of the person you are negotiating with, and therefore they don't think they can pull one over your head. Establish the goal of the other party. Ask yourself, what do they want out of this? What are they trying to achieve? Where are they going with this line of argument? Prepare yourself in such a way that you're never caught unawares. Preparation assures you that whatever deal you agree upon at the end of the day, that deal is not subject to change by higher authority, but more than that, that deal is what you are happy with because you have negotiated for it and on it. So the first thing you need to know for you to be effective when it comes to negotiation is that you must be prepared. You must be prepared. The second key that you need to have is you must have a strategy. You must have a strategy. Don't go into any negotiation, like I said, blindly. Have a goal. This is what I want to achieve. But more than that, have a path that you have already set of how you will achieve or you will reach that goal. Have a goal, but more than that, have a strategy, a roadmap that you have set for yourself on how to reach that goal. Remember, you will never get what you don't ask for in negotiation. You will never get what you didn't ask for. The other party is not a mind reader. Even if they're a mind reader, why should they read your mind and give you what you are thinking? You will only get what you ask for. And so when you are making a demand during a negotiation, especially at the point of making an offer, make your offer bold and make it aggressive, make it robust, make it in such a way that they have no way of misunderstanding what you are saying and what you are asking for. Remember, the first offer is usually the most important because it will set the parameters upon which all the other conversations and deliberations and negotiation will follow. So when you are making that your first offer, make it bold, make it aggressive. And if you're a buyer, usually, say you are the one wanting to buy a product, you will hear the salesman say something along the line of, oh, what's your budget? Remember, every time you are in a negotiation mode, so don't let your guards down. So the salesman will say, okay, tell me, what's your budget? Don't fall for it. All they're trying to do is to establish a benchmark of how much you want to spend, or you want to dispose, or how much you are able to give as far as that deal is concerned. If somebody asks you what's your budget and you disclose it, this is what will happen. They will sell you what you don't want. What do I mean by that? They will package another product or another service that in most cases will be inferior to what you are looking for or what you actually wanted. They will package that and give that to you just enough to match your budget. But because you have already explained and you've opened your hand and said this is what your budget is, when you get a product that matches that budget, you think you've got a good deal. You haven't. In 9 times out of 10, you've got an inferior product or you've got a less suitable service than what you could have gotten if you had just not fall for the trick of what is your budget. So have a strategy. Don't be bold and aggressive with your offer. Don't disclose your budget. Also, always have something that you think, okay, all said and done, I'm happy to compromise on this one without hurting your negotiating position. Remember, negotiation is about giving and receiving. Don't dig your heels in and say, I'm like the northern rock, I shall not be moved. That will not help you on the long run. But at the same time, don't give away too much that it will hurt your negotiation position. Also, part of your strategy is that you have to be vigilant. Be vigilant. Don't just hear what the other party is saying. Watch for their reactions. Watch for their body languages. Watch for their face expressions when you make certain statements, because that could just give you the key into their position, their weaknesses, and their strength, and you can then capitalize on that. Also, part of your strategy that you must bear in mind is be careful when they ask you for a counter, when they make a counter offer. Be careful when somebody you are negotiating with makes a counter offer. What do I mean by that? An offer on the table is either accepted or rejected. This is how much I want to pay for this, yes or no. But when they tell you to say, I would rather you bring me another proposal, it's a trick. Don't fall for it. The moment you say, okay, I will send you another one, it weakens your position totally. Because what you are saying to the other party is that I can't be trusted. So be careful when they say, send me another proposal. Don't fall for it. Rather, ask them, what's wrong with this one? Let's go over the issues again. Let's review the figures. Let's check what are the terms again and see where there are issues and we can iron them out. The number 3 way of being effective in negotiation is that understand the law of demand and supply. It's your leverage. Understand the law of demand and supply is your leverage. What do I mean by that? Understand the market in which you're operating right at that instance. Understand whether your side is on the strong side as far as the market dictates, or on the weak side as far as the market is concerned, because that would determine what leverage you have, especially when it comes to fixing or agreeing on a price. If, for instance, say the demand for a particular product that you are negotiating upon, the demand for it is very high, but the supply is very low, automatically that tells you the price is going to be high. So if you are the one buying, you are not really in a position to dictate the terms of the negotiation. If you are the one selling, now you are the king of the table. And vice versa. If the demand is low, supply is high, and you're the one buying, you call the shots. So by you understanding the market that you are in at that instance, it gives you leverage in your ability to negotiate. So establish a strong foundation early in the process by demonstrating your knowledge and expertise of the subject matter and your understanding of the market at that instant of your negotiation. So understand the law of demand and supply, which is your leverage. Number 4, when it comes to making the offer is not just the price tag. The offer is not just the price tag. The offer includes the price, but there are other salient points that goes with the offer that if they are not in position, if they are not in place, if they are not established, if they are not included in the package, I don't care how much you pay for it, it won't be worth the price at the end of the day. What do I mean by that? The basis of the bargain agreement should include your offer price. The offer price is usually in whatever denomination you are trading in. Is it in sterling, in dollars, in euros, in yen, or whatever? But make sure it is clear. For instance, if we say, okay, we'll agree on 5,000, and you didn't say whether it's 5,000 pounds, $5,000, 5,000 euros, and the other party turned up and paid you 5,000 naira. Well, you've only agreed on 5,000. You didn't specify and confirm the denomination, the currency of your negotiation. 5,000 is what we agreed, and 5,000 is what I've paid you. Also, the offer must include the scope of the work or the scope of the order that you are negotiating upon. Understand the scope. How much of it? How wide is it? How far is it? How deep are we going on this term? Identify also the quantities of the good that you are agreeing upon. Don't just say, okay, send it to us, we'll have a look at it. Well, you didn't say send us 6 or send us a dozen. We've agreed that this crate of this particular product will have 24 bales or 24 bags or 24 bottles. Just say, send us 6. They could send you 6 pieces or 6 bundles. So you have to be very specific. Also agree clearly on the delivery schedule, the delivery date, the delivery condition, the delivery terms, the delivery. If there's a return policy, understand what the return policy is. Understand the condition that this product must be when it is delivered. That's why you will see some products at the point of delivery, they will tell you, make sure you inspect it before the delivery man leaves your site. Because once the delivery man leaves and you have signed that you've received it, whether it now arrives broken or damaged, you can't return it because you have already signed acceptance. So be mindful of all of these things to avoid misunderstanding. When you are also negotiating, try and make some notes. This note will help you should anything go wrong in future and you need to revisit the negotiation. Your note will help you, and it will also help you to learn. After the whole thing is completed, you can look back and say, what are the lessons that were learned from this negotiation? What was it I did that I shouldn't have done, or vice versa? What was it about the other party that caught me unawares? Or what did I learn from the way they were talking? Your note will help you. Another key factor when it comes to effective negotiation is always try for a win-win situation. Always try for a win-win situation. Remember, the other party is not your enemy. They are there to protect and preserve and get out of the table as much as you want as well. So don't see them, don't see the other negotiator as your enemy. Give them a room to breathe as much as you will want as well. Now, I know the old attitude of bash them over the head and play the trick on them. Yes, you may win the lion's share of the negotiation, but 2 things will happen. Number 1, you've left the other party damaged. Number 2, you may not have the second opportunity. Yes, you may have won that deal, but what about the long-term business that you could do with that person? What about the referrals that you could gain from that person? You've completely lost that. So please, when it comes to negotiation, as much as possible, try and go for a win-win situation. And finally, when it comes to key factors in effective negotiation, no negotiation is completed until you close the deal. Until you close the deal. When it comes to negotiation, always make sure you walk away from the table with the deal closed. Always have an end game in mind. What is the end game of what you're doing? What is the ultimate achievement you are looking for as far as this negotiation is concerned? Every successful negotiation requires a sense of timing, creativity, keen awareness, the ability to anticipate what the other person is going to do so that you can interact and put yourself in a better position for it. I don't know if this is helping anybody so far. I'm just blabbing away and talking. Please let me know if this is helping you, and if you have not shared this program, please let's go and share it. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you have not shared the program, let's go and share it quickly. Moving on swiftly, I want to talk about seasoned negotiators. They have some tricks that they can play on you. And if you are not aware, if you are naive about them, 8 times out of 10, when you go for any negotiation, one of these tricks will pop up. It might not be exactly like I'm going to say it, but trust me, it is always on the table. But knowing them, but more than that, knowing how to counter and get over them would help you greatly when you are negotiating, especially with people who are seasoned. Say, for instance, you are negotiating your next pay with your HR manager. I mean, this is what they do. This is their line of business. They will know a lot of things about it more than you. And some of these tricks they will play on you. Maybe you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you're negotiating your next holiday, or you're negotiating for your child's school, or whatever. In any form of negotiation, some of these tricks will come up. Just bear in mind, understand them, and know how to deal with them. What is the first one? The first one is when the other party start to pretend to have cold feet. Say you've been negotiating, you've been having these meetings, you've been discussing about this is what it's going to take, this is how we're going to go. And just as you think you're coming to the end of the negotiation, the other party then start to think, I'm not really sure about this, And you say, what do you mean? Well, I'm not sure that we're getting a good deal out of this. When the other parties start to play I'm not sure game with you, when they start to develop cold feet and feel it seems like, oh my goodness, after 6 weeks of negotiation, this guy is going to pull the plug on this thing. What am I going to do? That exactly is the state they want you to be in. Because what they're trying to do is to draw out more concession, more discount from you. They want you to give more than you have agreed or more than you are prepared to give, just because they think you don't want to lose the deal. Be careful with that. So instead of falling for the trick, what you should do is you probe further. You ask them, so tell me exactly what brought this? What is the real problem? What is not clear to you? Let's go over the terms again. I'm happy for us to sit down here for the next 2 hours and just trash this out. We've been on this for the past 6 weeks. Let's finalize it. For instance, they'll say, I'm not sure this deal is right for us, especially not at this time. Then just say, why are you questioning this agreement? Why are you questioning everything we've talked about? Why are you now not sure all of a sudden? Well, I'm thinking maybe it will cost too much. Now you see where they're going. They want you to reduce the price. You could turn around and say, look, we've spent a lot of time on the price issue. I'm happy for us to go through the figures if there's anything you have missed or something you've not understood. But I can tell you, we are on track for this, and we can close this deal. All they're doing is, remember, this is negotiation. All they're doing is to get more out of you. Don't fall for the trick. It's only a trick. Number 2 trick is suddenly they raise an unreasonable requirement or they make a threat or an ultimatum. Let me see how to explain that. Say you've been negotiating with somebody on a particular deal, and just as you're rounding up or you're coming to close the deal, suddenly they put a demand on the table. They say, well, this product we want to buy from you, or this product you want to supply us, we want to be the only one that you will be supplying. They just wanted to take your legs off you, because they're thinking by saying so, they can get more out of you. They will give you something like, well, we'll need you to stop doing business with our competitor if you want to do business with us. Remember, it's an open market. You can't, because of one deal, cut off all the other parts of the market. all they're trying to do without unreasonable request is to bargain for some more discount. Your best strategy at that instant is to look at him or her straight in the eyes and call their bluff to say, well, it's a very big market, you know. I cannot, because I want to trade with you, cut off the rest of the market. If there's anything we need to go over on this thing, then let's look at it. But there's no way I'm going to stop trading with other people just because I'm doing business with you. With all due respect, I respect your account. I'm happy to have your account, but not at the expense of the rest of the market. Once they know that you are not going to be bullied, 8 times out of 10, they will say, well, I just thought I would ask, but I understand where you are, right? Let's close the deal. Remember, it is only a trick to get you. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Sometimes another trick they will use is, now you put the paper in front for them to sign, or it's time for you to shake hands and say, right, we've agreed. And they say, do you know what? Before I sign this paper, I need another 10% discount. Whoa, where's that from? We've gone through this. We've agreed on that. We've talked about this. And they said, no, if I take this to my boss, he will just sack me. So I need another 10% discount. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Or some will even tell you, well, this deal is off unless you agree to this. It's a lie. Don't fall for it. If you don't buy it now, it won't be available tomorrow. Who said that? Well, if you don't pay for it now, then the price will go up tomorrow. Well, let it go up. I'll go somewhere else. All they are trying to do is to push your back against the wall and get something more out of you than you are willing to give. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Because the moment at that point you think, I don't want to lose this deal. Okay, I'll give you that extra 10% discount. You have just sent a message across to say, I wasn't giving you the best deal in the first place. I always had this buffer that I could have given to you. And most of the time, people like that, once they get you to that point, they won't sign the deal. They won't shake your hands. They won't close the deal because they're saying you are not trustworthy. So be careful when some of these tricks are played on you. Another trick that a seasoned negotiator will play on you is that they will decide to test your patience. They will try to test your patience. They will say, I don't think we can have another meeting now for the next 4 weeks. Just about the time you are supposed to close the deal. And now they want to postpone the closing of the deal for another 4 weeks. Meanwhile, up to now, you've been meeting every 2-3 days. Now they want to give you a big gap of 4 weeks. All they are trying to establish is, where is this deal for you? For instance, if you're a salesman and suddenly the potential customer said, well, I don't think we can see again now to close the deal for the next 4 weeks. All they're trying to establish is to say, could it be that you need this deal to make your quarterly report robust? And if that's the case, why should I help you do that without getting anything back from you? So they're saying, I can't do that for you so that you are going to miss this being part of your quarterly returns or report. Because they think that is why you want to close this deal. All you can say to them is, fair, if you don't want to close the deal or you don't want us to meet for the next 4 weeks, that's fine. But let me tell you this, in 4 weeks' time, I cannot guarantee that the price will still be the same. I cannot guarantee that those discounts and extra benefits that I've added to you, there is no guarantee that you will still have them. The moment you say that, guess what? They want to meet with you tomorrow, because now it is clear to them that this is not just a fill in the gap deal for you. This is a real business, but it's a trick that most seasoned negotiators will play on the naive, the learners. And if you fall for it, they will take you for granted. Let me hear from you if this is of any benefit, if this is helping you. Let me say something. I need to hear back from you. And if you have not shared this program, let's go and share it. It is going to be a blessing to somebody else within your circle of contact, within your circle of influence. Let's go and share this program if you have not shared it. Joyce Elojo, thank you for joining us also on this program. Right, moving on. Now we've talked about the key factors that will help you in your negotiation. We've also covered some of the tricks that seasoned negotiators will play on you and how you can counter them and get over them. Now, let us now look at what do you need to have as yourself? What are the tactics that you now can use in the course of negotiation, irrespective of what the negotiation is about? What are some of the tactics that you can use as a tool, as a weapon for you to get the best out of your negotiation process? Quickly, remember, the key to successful negotiation is that you don't get what you deserve, you get only what you negotiate. Also remember that negotiation is not a search and kill mission. It's not kill them and maim them and trash them. No, it's a business transaction, and always let it remain a business transaction. And sometimes you find yourself on the winning side, and you everything is just falling in place for you, which is great. You are happy. But remember, we talked about the win-win situation. What about the other party? Do you want them to walk away with their tail between their legs? Because once that happens, you have not just closed the deal, you have also affected the other party. And like I said, two things. Number one, you won't get business from that person again. Number two, which is even more important, you will not get referrals from them. And remember, in business, referrals is the key. Yes, take your winning, but don't leave the other party empty-handed. So what are some of the tricks or some of the weapons that you must have or you could have for you to win? Number one, find out what the other party's agenda is and embrace it. What does this guy want from this deal? What exactly are they looking for? What will make this person happy at the end of this process? What will leave this person with a sweet taste in their mouth? Yes, they might not get everything they want, but at the same time, they're not walking away with their head bowed, crying over their tea because they have not gotten anything out of the deal. Think about the other person. Ask yourself, what will represent success story for this person? What will make this person feel we've played a fair game? You will not enjoy a victory lap in negotiation until you start to walk in the shoes of the other person and feel what they feel, see what they see, and think what they think. Which report are they going to give back to their people when they get home? Don't leave the other person without some grace on them. So find out what is the other party's agenda and embrace it within the context of your negotiation. Number two, sell your story, not your values. Sell your stories, not your values. Everybody's got a story to tell. Every deal, every negotiation has a story behind it, has a story within it, has a story at the end of it. Sell your story, but not your value. And in most cases, when it comes to negotiation, the people with the best stories, they often win. For instance, in 1860, when Abraham Lincoln was contesting to be the president of America, he was a lawyer at that time. So he could have wowed the people with big grammar and big English and big dictations and all of that. But rather, what he did was to sell the story of his life as a boy that was raised splitting log in a cabin somewhere down the road. that make a lot of people relate to him, because as at that time, that was the trade, that was the business of most people. So people didn't see him particularly as a lawyer, they saw him as one of us. And he went on to win that race. So what is your story? For instance, if you are used to watch X Factors, these people are there to contest for who can sing, who is the best singer among them, and all of that. But somewhere along the line, they'll start telling you the story of how they were living in council flat, how they were raised by a single mother, how these and some of them will even be crying. All they are doing, all that is all about, is to sell their story, not their ability to sing. That is not in question. But I don't care how good singer they are. If people are not voting, they are not winning. So in order to get people's vote, they sell their story. It's the same when you are negotiating. Sell your stories, not your values. Number 3, when it comes to negotiation, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't allow negotiation to turn to personal vendetta. Don't allow negotiation to degrade into name calling, insults, and no. That's not civil. That is not civil. So when it comes to negotiation, don't take it personal. It is a business transaction. Number 4, when you look at the table, you look at the deck you have, you look at everything in total, and you concluded to yourself that I don't think this is a winning table. I don't think I'm going to get what I want from this. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Rather, get creative. When you start to face deadlock and you know you're not going to win from this negotiation, it's time for you to rest it a bit. Don't push too hard. Don't start to over-talk your point, because it's just going to irritate the other party further. Rather, that is the time for you to start thinking, okay, what is the alternative way of getting this done? How else can I go around this particular issue and resolve this problem? So instead of flogging a dead horse, think of a creative way to get the job done. And every time you do that, you will get a good result. Another thing you can do another tool you can have with yourself when it comes to negotiation is explain the past, but sell the future. Explain the past, but sell the future. What do I mean by that? You remember I said at the beginning, don't go into any negotiation without being prepared. The same thing the other party will have done. They will have prepared, studied you, learned about you, read about you, know about your business, your country, your contacts, your financials, your this, your that. They know all of that. So by you trying to major on that, it's not going to win you anything. However, by you using that as a platform to sell where you are going, will always win you victory. I'll give you an example. Assuming you are negotiating with a bank to raise some funds for a business, just for argument's sake, this is just an example, and the bank manager is looking like you that, looking back at your previous records and your history, I'm not sure this is a good or this is a viable proposal. So you could do something along the line. Just throwing words at you here. You could say something like, well, we had a lot of investment, for instance. This is just you talking with your bank manager. You could say our company had a lot of investment in property market in those days. But there was the general economic downturn, and it affected our portfolio a lot. And But guess what? We're bounced back from it. We've now developed, for instance, a renewable energy or a recyclable energy or a reusable way of building houses at a fraction of what it used to be. Now you are talking the language that the bank manager wants to hear. He already knows that you did bad during the economic downturn as far as your property portfolio was concerned. He knew that because he had studied you. But now you are selling the future to him. You are giving him a heads up to, this is where we're going. And it will be a blessing for you if you come alongside us, because we'll do you good. When you do that in a negotiation table, you get a lot out of it. So explain the past, but sell the future. And like we've said before, go make the first offer. It's in the past that people say, oh, whoever makes the first offer will lose out. These days, whoever makes the first offer sets the platform upon which everybody are going to, the rest of the party will play. He who dictates, who pays the piper dictates the tune. Once you name the price, all other conversation will be around that price that you name. And hey, it is now the focal point. But if you are waiting for the other party to make the first offer, guess what? You will join the rest of the crowd to be talking about their offer. And it might not be a favorable offer as far as your position is concerned. So make the first offer, set the pace, set the parameters, the platform upon which further conversation and negotiation is going to happen when you make your first, when you are the one to make the first offer. Another tool you can have when it comes to negotiation that will help you greatly is when things turn personal, when the other party, for instance, become agitated and ugly and they're now taking it personal. Play the big boy. Hold your cool, stay calm, and direct the conversation back to business. Because remember, this is strictly business. It's nothing else. It's business. So when they try to make it personal, they try to start being ugly about it, find a way to bring it back to business, because that is all it is. Every time you do that, you will not, number one, earn the respect of the other party. Number two, you've already established an edge over them, and they will listen when you talk, rather than trying to compete with you as to who will talk the most. The next thing you must do when it comes to negotiation, in order for you to get the best out of it, is you must stay focused to the very end, to the close of the deal. Stay focused, stay alert, be there in the present, and be there in fullness. Because this is what tends to happen during negotiation. Say you've been talking about this over and over and over and over again. Now you're getting tired. Now you're getting weary. Now you're looking at the clock. Now you're wanting to go home. Now you're uncomfortable. And so is the other party. But that is the time when mistakes are made. That is the time when savvy and seasoned negotiator will throw a killer punch and go home with the gold. But not you. Stay focused. Stay focused. The critical point at the end, when concluding terms and conditions are established, that is the time for you to be mentally alert, because that is the time when most deals are lost, or your hands are tied behind you because you lose focus. What tends to happen is a lot of people at that time are thinking, oh, what's the time now? Oh, when is the next flight? I need to catch the train. I don't want to miss the match. Oh, I need to get home on time. Oh, because now fatigue has set in and all they want to do is walk away. But not you. Remain focused. Remain disciplined. Remain alert, because in the process, the other party will give their hands up and you will take the kill. I remember when I was in secondary school, I was in the school football team. And every time we going out to play football, the principal will gather us in front of his office and say, boys, let me tell you, the game is not over until the final whistle is blown. The game is not over until the referee blows the final whistle. And why is he saying that? We have had instances where we are on the winning side, and when just about 2 minutes to the end of the match, we started relaxing, thinking of what we're going to do next, and bang, 2 goals in 2 minutes, and we've lost the match. So he will always remind us the match is not over, the game is not over until the referee blows the final whistle. It's the same thing in negotiation. Until the hands are, you shake hands and the signature is appended on the document, the deal is still on the table. The negotiation is not over. Remain focused, remain alert to the end. Also, remember, sometimes when you come to, in negotiation, you will come to an impasse where both of you are, you're stuck in your positions. Nobody is ready to move. Nobody is willing to give any concession or any compromise. Two of you are now in a jam. There's no movement. That is not the time to push harder. That is not the time to exercise your strength. That is the time for you to step back and engage humor, respect, sincerity, just to dilute the animosity and the opposition in the room. That is the time for you to show your human side, not just your business side. That is the time to put a human face to your business. That is the time to extend a friendly hand to the opposing party to say, hey, guess what? Maybe we should just leave this laptop. Let's go out for a meal. Let's go for a walk. Do something that is completely, totally different from what has consumed both of you. You'll be surprised that most of the time, when you take your eyes off what is off the sticking point, you both come back refreshed. For instance, there was an experiment. I remember I talked about this when I spoke on the topic of paying attention. And you put a dot on a piece of paper and stick the piece of paper on the wall. Stand in front of that piece of paper and look at that dot. After about a minute or two, your eyes are open, but you won't see the dot anymore. It will just be like it wasn't there. However, if at that time you look away and you look back, you will see the dot again. Because what you've done is you've break that pattern deliberately to refocus and re-energize yourself to the issue at hand. It's the same thing during negotiation. When it seems like it's a logjam and nothing is happening, that is not the time to start forcing and pushing. And no, that is the time to untangle, take a break, time out, take a break, go for a walk, read an article, do something completely different from what you are working on, because both of you will come back, refresh, re-energize, and be able to see those salient points that you weren't seeing all along. I know, and I believe this is helping somebody out there. I know this is adding values to all of us, including myself. And I'd like to hear from you in the few minutes that we've got left. What are some of the takeaways you've received from tonight's program? What are some of the things that maybe you're not sure? Maybe I see what you mean there. Maybe, well, I think what you said there, I'm not too happy about. Whatever it is, I just want to hear back from you to let me know that, yes, this is making impact, this is adding value to somebody. So please say something, let me hear something, type something, whatever it is, I'd just like to hear back from you. And while you are doing that, let me quickly announce that we are planning for our next event. The next event that we'll be having is going to be like a seminar. It's going to be in October, on the 14th of October, Saturday the 14th of October is when we'll have our next major event. Like I said, it will be a seminar, and the title of the seminar will be Positioned. Be Positioned, and I will go into more details as the day draws near. Be Positioned. Date again is Saturday the 14th of October 2017. It will be between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. The venue will be Christ Church Hall in Eltham, here in London. The postcode is SE191 Tango X-ray 1TX. All the details will be going up on my Facebook and on my other social media platforms very soon. I'm waiting for the flyers to be ready and all of that. But please, let's believe God together. Let's pray about it. Let's prepare about it. Let's talk to people about it. But more than that, let's make it a point of duty to attend. Some of this particular program is going to be a knockout. And that is not just a salesman's talk. It is not something that I'm doing because I just want to do something. It is in response to what I believe the Spirit of God is saying to me. Be Positioned is the title of this seminar, and it's on Saturday the 14th of October 2017. It's going to be in Eltham. The details will be coming out very soon, but please, let's work towards it. Let's pray about it. Let's talk about it. Let's invite people. Make it a point of duty for you to be there, and I can assure you, you won't regret it. Once again, I want to thank all of you that has been on this program tonight, been part of it, either from the beginning and those who've joined us later on. Pastor Bimba Adebanwo, I really appreciate you. I honor you. Thank you, sir, for joining us on the program tonight. So please, if you have not shared this program, just click the share button. Let's go and share it so that others can benefit from it. Ladies and gentlemen, this journey of discovery, the train is moving. Can you believe we've been doing this now for 30 weeks? 30 weeks we've been doing this. And I am so honored that in this period, over this period of 30 weeks, I have learned a lot. I have seen a lot. I have been challenged a lot in myself. But more than that, I am definitely better than I was 30 weeks ago. And I'm sure in your own way, in each and every one of you, you can say the same thing. It's an honor for me to be part of this journey in your life. We're not going to stop. We're not going to cave in. We're not going to be derailed, discouraged. No, we are going to continue to pull this train on this journey. I can assure you the future is bright for all of us. This program is designed to give us the tools, to prepare us, to put us in a position where when we arrive at that destination, we're not looking at how did I get here. We know exactly how we got there. But more than that, we know exactly why we're there, what we're there for. And we are ready. We are prepared. We are cooked and baked to take advantage of that position. Thank you once again for your love, your support, your prayers, your appreciation, everything. it's a blessing to me that we are on this journey together. I can't wait again till next week, when we'll be looking at another brand new topic on become a better man. There's no stopping us now. We are on the move. There is no stopping us now. We are on the move. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I honor you. I appreciate you for your time. And until next week, when we meet again on this platform, Become a Better Man, this is Tunde Diso once again saying, ain't no stopping us now until we arrive at that destination where everybody will have no choice but to say, surely, these are better men and better women. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.